All right, Dave. So I want you to try to take a guess at what I was charging per pane. So if we're looking at this window right here, for example, it's a window that opens. I would count that as two panes.
Yeah.
So I want you to try to take a guess at what I was charging per pane when I started cleaning windows 8 years ago.
250.
This is for interior and
I'm going
exterior cleaning.
250.
250? Okay. I thought you'd be higher. I was at $4 per
Okay.
pane.
Okay.
Back in 20,
That was inside and out.
I was inside and out,
That's very cheap.
including like screen cleaning. I included screen cleaning and track cleaning, and I still do inclusive pricing like that. But we're at like triple that now.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just wanted to
That's funny.
kind of see where your head was at with
Well,
what.
you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. So
Yeah, yeah. I just like when I moved back down to California from Central Oregon the first time, I just kind of duplicated the pricing that the guy that I was working for was charging, and like he was a legitimate and still is a legitimate operation. You know, half a dozen trucks, they're crushing it. But yeah, I pricing. You've already said this, but like the hardest thing in your business from a cerebral standpoint has been figuring out pricing.
Oh, yeah.
And it honestly never ends.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make this episode because it's really, I had somebody reach out or talk to me on a coaching call a couple of weeks ago, and he was trying to figure out whether he should buy a business that has existed for 20 plus years or start his own operation. He's a professional tradesman, and he's looking to basically his mission was to try to acquire a business that had some operational capacity already, so he didn't have to start very scrappily from the beginning. We could have a whole episode just on buy versus build when it comes to starting, and I think we should. But one of the biggest warnings that I had for him in regards to buying, because that's really what he was kind of sold on, was be really diligent about determining what the market pricing for that service is in your area.
Yeah.
Because if you've owned a business in a given area for 20 or 25 years, the likelihood that you're staying up to date on pricing, unless you're extremely intentional and diligent about that, is pretty low.
Yeah.
And that's a huge business risk, because if you buy a business that is undercharging by 20 or 30%, that can be a huge problem. So yeah, pricing is just something that you always need to be testing and retesting.
Yes. Yeah. And it's probably going to be something that we'll eventually just do every year. Right.
Reevaluate.
Yeah. Just sit down and reevaluate. Because I mean, not even just from an industry standard standpoint, but inflation. Like there's so many factors that go into what would cause a business to have to raise their prices.
Right.
So when inflation goes up, you're going to be paying your people more. When you have to pay people more, you're paying the cost of everything just goes up together. So I think year over year, it will probably just have, I don't know. I've never actually talked to someone about this, but I would imagine that larger window cleaning companies raise their prices a certain percent year over year anyways.
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of different indicators that you could use. Inflation is one, which kind of is directly tied to cost of living. What your competition is charging is factors in somehow as well. Your conversion rate is something worth taking a look at. But I think the main thing here that's really easy to get caught up in, especially as a solo operator, is just never adjusting your pricing.
Yeah.
And I think it's uncomfortable for some people, especially if you have established clients, to adjust pricing on them when they rebook. One thing that's been really interesting with having an influx of leads over the last couple of handful of weeks is that I've increased the pricing of my services by about 15-20% in a month, which has been awesome. And one thing that's happened that's been really interesting is all of the fence sitters are gone now.
Yeah.
People are either really totally on board with booking.
Yeah. It's absolute no.
Yeah. There's no contention, or it's what are you talking
Yeah.
about? I've had a couple of people where, when I pitch pricing after doing an estimate, knock the door, greet, build some initial rapport, let them know it's a quick walk around. It's the exact same process
Hmm.
as you, basically. And then go to the front door wherever they are, and then pitch pricing. And the pitch is like, so Dave, window cleaning on your house is going to come to 345. That includes interior and exterior window cleaning. We also clean all screens when we come across them, and we do all interior tracks as well. So any window or door that opens up, we open that up and we clean out the fly trap,
Yeah.
as we call them. Um, and then I just go right into, unless they have something immediate in terms of an objection, I just go right into, I go in terms of scheduling. We have some availability in the coming weeks, but I know you mentioned maybe you wanted to wait until spring. We have a couple slots open in April. Here's this, and this.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. So you just transition automatically into a close. Anyways, it's happened twice now where during that pitch, people have just been like, I'm going to stop you right there. I can't, that's not me. Um, and it's like that used to, if that happened one time, I used to go, oh, my pricing's too high. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe I need to adjust pricing, and it would like shake my confidence in that. It does that a lot less when you have 15 other estimate appointments that same week.
100%.
Um,
Yep.
so
Yeah. When your pipeline is full, your confidence rises, and getting a no is not nearly as painful.
yeah, it's like it's almost turned into like they say before it was like they're saying no to me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
um, now it's like they're saying no to my pricing, therefore they're not my client.
100%.
Actually, now that they've reacted this way, I don't want them to book.
Yeah.
So that's been an interesting kind of mindset shift. But I just think that this is something that's worth making an episode about because you can sit on your pricing for way, way too long, especially if you're a solo operator.
Yeah.
You can go by 4 or 5 years as a bucket bob if you stay that size. If you grow your business, you're gonna run into pricing
100%.
issues. You're going to have to raise prices because your overhead increases. You have to pay people. Um, you have to you have to buy vehicles, wraps, more equipment for everybody.
More insurance.
Yeah.
Probably garage space.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally. Pricing becomes sink or swim at that point.
Yeah.
This is really dangerous as a solo operator because you can get to a point where it's like, I make $75 an hour when I go out and clean windows. It's great.
Yeah.
That's like my average pace. And I've been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 years ago, that's like roughly what I was trying to do, like
Yeah.
75,
Yeah.
80 an hour.
Yeah.
And now if I see anything under 130 an hour, just for my personal capacity,
Yeah.
I'm
not
like,
interested.
oh, I'm either going too slow or not charging enough, or I underestimated the complexity of this job. There's a problem. If I'm dipping below 130, I try to be 150 to 170, 180, right
Yeah.
around
Us
there.
too.
So yeah, there's just I want to speak specifically to the solo operators because especially, we've said this before, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to expand your business dramatically. And if you're a solo operator and you're at a place where you could double your hourly rate, there's no reason not to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that's super easy to ignore for way, way, way too long
Yeah.
because you get comfortable with your clients, they get comfortable with you, and you don't want to kind of stir the pot, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that you can do to overcome that, especially as a solo operator, is continue to get new clients through the door, introduce them to your pricing structure and your price increases as the first touch with that new client. And then you'll have to figure out what to do with your old clients
Yeah.
because all of a sudden, if you're bringing in, even as a solo guy, if 30, 40, 50% of your work is new clients year over year, and you're being diligent about increasing prices, you're going to be a lot less excited about helping your recurring
100%.
clients
Yeah.
unless you sack up basically
Yeah.
and inform them that your pricing has changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to like put this one out there. I don't know, like if you have any other notes on this topic in particular, but I think it's really important.
Yeah. I think pricing for me is something that I feel like out of anything in the window cleaning industry so far, it still seems so unknown and foreign and uncharted territory for me.
Yeah.
It's what I feel like I know the least about. Right now, our pricing is working. It's fine.
Right.
But again, I kind of feel like I just shot at the hip or shot from the hip when I made my pricing. Even what it is now. There was some trial and error. I've changed it a bunch. But it's not, if someone came to me like, dude, I need to know, how did you dial that in? I'm like, I don't feel like I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, it's working fine. Like we're fine. Like we're growing. There's plenty of profit left over to continue to invest in the business. So it's working right now. But how I came to it, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we don't know, then you might as well not know either and continually play around with
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Play
basically.
around with it. And, you keep an eye on your numbers.
Yeah.
Like as a business owner, make sure you're watching those, month over month. And you're going to very quickly know if you're making money or losing money.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Cool. Right on. Well, we just wanted to do a quick one here real quick. Raise your prices, guys. In all likelihood, if you've been doing this for, well, if you're doing it at all, but definitely if you've been doing it for, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you haven't substantially raised your prices in that time, and over the last 5 years, I'm talking doubling or tripling what you started, what you were charging when you started. You have to raise prices, and it'll be uncomfortable at first, especially with your current clients. But the quality of life change,
yeah,
especially, I
dramatic.
mean, as a business owner that's growing, like all of a sudden you have breathing room, and then as a solo guy that's just trying to like pay his bills, save money, and get by, all of a sudden like your cushion. Do you want to double your cushion or not?
Yeah.
Like that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Do you want to double your growth rate or not? Because if you have margin right now and you're charging prices that you were 3 years ago, by doubling your prices, you're just doubling your margin.
Yeah.
Period. So yeah,
That's great.
yeah. Right on, guys. This has been Clean for Profit. We'll see you next time.